Hey everyone, in this video we're going to be installing this Seasmart luxury toilet sanitizer, so stay tuned. So welcome back to the channel. On Boating Tube we do news, reviews, how-tos and anything to do with boating. If this is your first time here, welcome. Please consider hitting that subscribe and bell notification to make sure you get updates on new videos when we publish them. On this video, as I mentioned, we're going to be installing a Seasmart here aboard. The reason for this is that every time we come down to the boat after leaving it for a week or two, the first couple of times we flush the toilet, everything's a bit pongy. Now we've got a Jabsco electric head here aboard. I've cleaned the tank out, so it's definitely not the tank. We've replaced all of the pipe work through to the seacock and the pump through to the toilet, so it's definitely not that. And reading a lot of the information on the forums, I've read that the fact that it's the water that gets bacteria and is stagnant between the feed and the toilet itself. So I've looked at the Seasmart, heard a lot of good things about Seasmart. So they were doing a special offer and I picked one up ready for the boat show. I picked one up and we're going to give it a go and see if it solves that horrible stinky problem when we first come aboard. So let's first off check and look at exactly what you get in the box itself. So here it is. You can see the box as we get it one for. This is the electric toilet version for seawater flush, or raw water flush, not the fresh water. So let's see what we get in the box first of all and see exactly what's in it. So this is the main unit itself. We get a couple of instruction manuals. This one is the one for electric heads flush with sea or river water. That's the one that we want for our boat. And then this one gives you the instructions for manual pumped heads. We get the pouch with the disinfecting solution in there, so that needs to be installed. There are a couple of small self-tapping screws there. We get a Jubilee clip for mounting this onto the pipe work, and we'll talk about that in a second. A PP3 battery to be able to use this, so that's a standard PP3 battery, Pro Cell battery. And then that's pretty much it. You can see here on the connection, so this goes in line with our existing pipes. This is going to run down pre-pump to water the seacock. You can see there's the catheter pipe that runs down, so that's going to go inside our existing pipe and go about to, this needs to be cut and run down to, I think it's about 1 inch before the actual seacock. Then we need to mount the unit. So the unit here itself, there's a small little nylon screw here in the top. Let me get this undone and you can see then what's inside it. Okay, so that screw is captive, and then here you can see inside the unit, so there's where the battery goes, that PP3. There's a priming button there, that's where the actual sachet then connects into, and then you can see the pump element a bit down the bottom. So that's what we need to mount up on the back of the unit. The nylon is a captive screw, so hopefully we won't lose that. And then on the back of the unit you can see there's literally just those kind of two mounting holes where we can just literally put the two self-tapping screws in and then drop that onto to those. So should be famous last words, should be a straightforward installation of this Seasmart unit onto the boat. So let's go and have a look at the installation next. Right, so the lighting's not very good, but you can see here's our pump that we've got. That so off to that direction there is the toilet, and then as I pan up here you can see we've got a small filter here. It's called a pump saver, I think. It's just a small coarse filter to stop the any muck coming into the pump, and then that runs down all the way down, so we can get this in shot, to the stopcock, which is just there. So that's where we need to install the Seasmart, in between the stopcock there and, as I roll the camera back round, the camera up to the this, it needs to go in between this coarse filter and the stopcock here. So I think what I'm going to try and do is get the Seasmart, you can't really see, but on the back of this bulkhead here above our shower sump down the bottom here, that should hopefully give me enough space. I can always take it out whenever I need to change the battery or the sachet. I don't need to see it or have it in show, so I'm going to try and install it there, put the screws in and stick it in there. So before you do anything, you need to turn off the stopcock there at the bottom. So we need to just turn that off to make sure that we don't flood the boat with water when we start undoing pipes. So do that up first, tighten that up, and then we can get into installing the Seasmart. Right, so you can see I've got the filter there, the coarse filter, the pump saver, pump guard, and then we've got the small little piece of pipe, and then we've plumbed in the pipe for the catheter. I've then run the catheter, it goes all the way down that pipe to then down the bottom where you can see then the stopcock. So it finishes just by that Jubilee clip inside, and then you've obviously got the depth of the valve there, which is then 6 centimeters or 4 inches from where it's supposed to be. So that's the installation of the pipe work all done. And you back up here so you can see there it is. There's the pump guard, and then the small bit of pipe that you get with the Seasmart, and then the feed in, and as I say, the umbilical runs all the way down that black pipe then to the bottom, to the stopcock. So that's that bit done. I'm just going to put that little block back up with the pump guard, and then we can put the battery and the sachet into the Seasmart itself and give it a try. Right, so now we're all plumbed in, we need to install the pouch inside the Seasmart, and we need to plug in the battery. So it says to hold this from the neck and undo this and then put it onto that spout there. I believe it's got to sit inside this kind of moulding here. So let's try, we'll try and do this with one hand whilst filming without putting blue chemicals all over the boat. So there is the sachet in there. I think I'm going to do this upright and put the camera down for this. I don't want to get any of the blue chemicals all over our nice carpet. I will be in big trouble. So let me do that now and come back when that's installed. Right, so you can see the pouch installed. You can see I just push the little inlet into the top of the sachet, and you can see it nicely sits there in the lugs, I guess, to stop the pouch from sort of falling down and to stop the pipe falling out, and the pouch then sits nicely on this kind of sill here at the bottom. So that's the pouch now in. Next up we need to install the battery. It's a PP3 battery. Again, I'm going to put the camera down and install that because I can't do it one-handed and film. I must get myself a tripod. So let's just do that now. Right, so our battery is installed. You saw the lights come up then. So now we need to press the priming button for 40 seconds. So with the power of editing, let's go and speed that process up for you now. Right, so I pressed the button for 40 seconds. It did say you could hear the pump, you'll hear the pump running, but I didn't. So that's all right, but the pipes now, I've flushed the toilet a couple of times, turned the seacocks on and flushed the toilet a couple of times, and the pipe now has gone blue, so the liquid's obviously flowing from the sachet down into the pipe. So what we'll do now is check in the toilet and see what the toilet looks like. Right, so sorry for giving you a shot down the toilet, but now you can see as I flush the toilet we get lovely blue liquid coming out. So it's obviously working, and hopefully going to be sanitizing our pipes before they get to the toilet and get rid of that horrible smell. We'll check back later in a couple of weeks and see how it's going. I'll give you an update on a future video. So thanks very much for joining us on this video. More great videos to come on the channel, trying to put stuff up roughly every week, every couple of weeks, so do make sure you check back, hit that subscribe and bell notification for more great updates here on Boating Tube.